You're lying there right now, trying to make your mind stop, trying to force yourself into sleep, into peace, into some kind of mental silence that keeps slipping away the harder you reach for it. And the strangest part is that you know this doesn't work. You've known for a while now that trying to control your thoughts just creates more thoughts, that forcing relaxation creates more tension, that the very act of managing your mind is what keeps it unmanageable. But you keep doing it anyway, don't you? Because what else is there? If you can't control your mind, if you can't make yourself calm down, make yourself stop thinking, make yourself fall asleep, then what are you supposed to do? Just lie here, helpless, while the thoughts spin and the worries multiply and the night stretches on endlessly. The exhaustion of it is overwhelming. Not just the tiredness in your body, but the deeper exhaustion of being at war with yourself, of spending every waking moment trying to manage, control, fix, improve the constant noise in your head. You've made peace into a project, rest into a performance. And now even sleep, the most natural thing in the world, has become something you have to achieve, another item on an endless list of things you're somehow failing at. This is the trap almost everyone falls into. We've been taught that spiritual growth means gaining mastery over the mind. That enlightenment is about thought control. That if we just meditate enough, practice enough, try hard enough, we'll finally reach that state of perfect mental clarity where thoughts obey us, where we can turn the mind on and off like a faucet, where we're finally in charge. And when that doesn't happen, when the mind keeps racing despite all our efforts, we assume we're doing it wrong. We're not trying hard enough. We haven't found the right technique yet. We need more discipline, more practice, more effort. But what if the entire premise is false? What if trying to control the mind is like trying to bite your own teeth? What if the problem isn't that you're failing at mind control, but that mind control was never possible in the first place? You've been trying to use the mind to fix the mind, to use thinking to stop thinking, to use the very source of the problem as the solution to the problem. And that's structurally impossible, like trying to lift yourself off the ground by pulling on your own hair. Alan Watts understood this completely. He spent years studying Eastern philosophy, translating the insights of Taoism and Zen Buddhism for Western audiences, and at the core of all his teaching was this one radical recognition: you cannot control the mind, because you who's trying to control it is itself a product of the mind. The controller is not separate from what needs controlling. The manager is not separate from the chaos being managed. There is no little person sitting inside your head, pulling levers and pushing buttons, trying to run the show. That sense of being a separate self, a conscious agent who's supposed to be in charge of thoughts and feelings and mental states, that's just another thought, another mental construct, another part of the very thing you're trying to control. It's like a character in a dream trying to wake up the dreamer. The structure of the effort prevents its success. And once you see this, once you really understand it, something extraordinary happens. Not because you've gained some new power or mastered some technique, but because you've stopped doing the one thing that was creating all the struggle in the first place. Think about your thoughts right now. Just notice them for a moment. There's thinking happening, isn't there? Maybe thoughts about whether this is going to help, whether you'll be able to sleep tonight, what you need to do tomorrow. Maybe random fragments, memories, worries, plans. Now here's the question that changes everything. Did you choose those thoughts? Did you sit there and deliberately decide what to think about next? Try it. Try to decide right now what your next thought will be 5 seconds from now. You can't, can you? Because you don't know what the next thought will be until it arrives. Thoughts just appear, seemingly out of nowhere, and then you claim them as yours. You say, "I'm thinking about dinner," or "I'm worried about work," as if there's a you who's generating these thoughts deliberately. But that's not what's actually happening. Thoughts arise on their own, spontaneously, like weather patterns forming in the atmosphere. You don't create them. You don't control them. You're not the author of your mental content. You're the awareness in which thoughts appear and disappear, the space in which all this mental activity happens. But somehow, you've gotten confused. You've identified with the thoughts instead of the awareness. You've mistaken the clouds for the sky. Watts used to talk about the mind being like water. When you try to control it, when you press down on it trying to make it still, what happens? Ripples spread from where you touched. Waves form. The water churns and becomes more disturbed than it was before. The very act of trying to calm it creates more agitation. But if you leave water alone, if you stop interfering with it, what does it do? It settles, naturally, without any help. The ripples fade on their own. The surface becomes smooth not because you made it smooth, but because you stopped making it rough. The mind works exactly the same way. When you try to force it into stillness, when you clench against unwanted thoughts, when you strain to make yourself calm, you're pressing on the water. You're creating the disturbance you're trying to eliminate. But when you stop interfering, when you stop trying to manage and control and fix, something shifts. Not immediately, maybe. Not always dramatically. But there's a natural settling, a return to clarity that happens by itself when you get out of your own way. The problem is that the you who's trying to get out of the way is itself in the way. The one who wants to let go is itself what needs to be let go of. This sounds like an impossible paradox, and in a sense, it is. You can't try to stop trying. You can't make an effort to be effortless. You can't use the controller to eliminate the controller. So what do? Well, that's just it. There's nothing to do. And I know how frustrating that sounds. You came here looking for a method, a technique, something you could practice that would finally give you the peace you're seeking. But every method is just more doing. Every technique is just the controller in disguise, trying a new strategy. Even letting go becomes another command from the one who's in charge. I should let go. Am I letting go yet? I'm not letting go right. I need to let go better. It's the same pattern, just wearing different clothes. The way out isn't through finding a better method. It's through seeing that the one who needs a method is itself the problem. But here's what nobody tells you. When you stop fighting, and I mean really stop, not try to stop, but actually just stop, nothing terrible happens. In fact, something remarkable happens. Life continues. Breath keeps breathing. Heart keeps beating. The body keeps doing what it needs to do. Thoughts still arise, but they don't stick the way they used to. They pass through like clouds, and you remain unchanged, untouched, the sky that holds everything without being disturbed by anything. You've been terrified of what might happen if you let go of control, as if your vigilance is the only thing keeping you alive, keeping you safe, keeping you together. But notice right now, in this moment, your body is managing thousands of processes without any conscious input from you. Cells are regenerating. Food is digesting. Your immune system is fighting off threats. Your nervous system is regulating temperature, balancing chemistry, healing damage. All of this happens while you sleep, while you're completely unconscious, without any supervision from the part of you that thinks it's in charge. The intelligence that runs your body is far more sophisticated than any conscious control could ever be. Maybe the mind is the same. Maybe it knows how to settle, how to rest, how to be at peace if you just stop interrupting. Allowing isn't a technique. It's not something you add to your repertoire of practices. It's what remains when you stop adding. It's the absence of interference, the end of constant management, the simple permission for things to be as they are. Think about clenching your fist. If I asked you how to unclench it, you wouldn't need to learn a special method. You just notice the clenching and stop doing it. The hand opens by itself. You don't open to stop closing it, and opening happens naturally. This is allowing. Not doing something, but stopping the doing that was preventing things from unfolding naturally. Your shoulders are probably tense right now. You don't need a technique to relax them. Just notice the tension, and in the noticing, they begin to drop. Not because you forced them to drop, but because holding them up was something you were doing, and when you become aware of doing it, the doing can stop. And when the doing stops, ease returns by itself. Sleep is the perfect teacher of all this. You can't force yourself to sleep. You've probably discovered this the hard way, lying awake for hours, trying everything, getting more and more frustrated as sleep refuses to come. And the reason it refuses is because you're trying. Sleep is pure surrender. It's the ultimate letting go. You can't think your way into it, will your way into it, control your way into it. The harder you try, the more awake you become. Because trying creates arousal. Effort creates alertness. The very thing you're doing to achieve sleep is what prevents it from happening. Sleep only comes when you stop trying to make it come. When you stop monitoring whether it's here yet. When you stop checking to see if you're falling asleep. When you finally give up, finally stop caring whether you sleep or not, finally just let yourself be here in the dark, doing nothing, that's when sleep arrives. Not because you achieved it, but because you stopped preventing it. Your body already knows how to rest. It's been doing it since before you were born. Even in the womb, there were cycles of activity and rest, movement and stillness. This isn't something you have to learn or master or perfect. It's built into you, as fundamental as breathing, as natural as your heartbeat. But you've been overriding it with your mind, with your thinking, with your constant management. You've been so busy trying to control when you rest, how you rest, whether you're resting right, that you've forgotten how to just let the body do what it knows how to do. Notice what happens when you give it permission. When you stop telling it what it should be feeling, stop judging it for being tense or tired or uncomfortable. Stop trying to fix it or improve it or make it different. Just let it be exactly as it is, without interference, without commentary, without the constant inner dialogue about what's wrong and what needs to change. In that space of non-interference, the body begins to soften. Not because you made it happen, but because you stopped preventing it from happening. Shoulders drop. Jaw unclenches. Breath deepens. Not through force, but through permission. The night isn't your enemy. It never was. You've been fighting the darkness, fighting the quiet, fighting the stillness, as if they're threats to be defended against. But the night is just the universe's invitation to stop. To let go of the day's identity, the day's concerns, the day's constant doing. The darkness isn't emptiness, it's fullness. It's the space that holds everything, the silence that makes all sound possible, the stillness that allows all movement. When you stop resisting it, when you stop trying to conquer it with techniques and strategies and effort, the night becomes something different. Not something to survive, but something to sink into. A rest that goes deeper than sleep, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances being perfect, a return to what you've always been underneath all the struggle and striving and endless self-management. You came here thinking something is wrong with you. That your mind is broken, that your inability to control your thoughts means you're failing at being human. That other people have this figured out and you're the only one still struggling. But there's nothing wrong with you. There never was. The mind that races, the thoughts that won't stop, the sleep that won't come, none of it means you're broken. It just means you're human, and you've been taught to fight what needs no fighting. You've been trying to fix what isn't broken, control what doesn't need controlling, manage what works perfectly well when left alone. The exhaustion you feel isn't from the thoughts themselves. It's from the war you've been waging against them. It's from the constant effort of trying to be different than you are, better than you are, more peaceful than you are. And now, finally, you can stop. Not because you've achieved some state of perfection, but because you're beginning to see that there's nothing to achieve. There's something that remains aware even in deep sleep. When you wake up, you can say, "I slept well," or "I had strange dreams," or "I was restless," which means something was aware, even in the depths of unconsciousness. Something knew the quality of the sleep, the presence or absence of dreams, the passage of time. What is that? What is this awareness that never sleeps, never stops, never needs rest because it is rest? This is what you actually are. Not the body that gets tired. Not the mind that races. Not the thoughts that come and go. But the awareness in which all of it appears and disappears, the consciousness that witnesses waking and sleeping and dreaming without being any of them. This awareness has never been disturbed by anything. Even when you're anxious, the awareness itself isn't anxious, it's just aware of anxiety. Even when you're in pain, the awareness isn't in pain, it's aware of pain. Even when you're lost in thought, the awareness isn't lost, it's aware of being lost. It's like the sky, which is never affected by the weather that passes through it. Storms come and go. Clouds gather and disperse. But the sky remains, unchanged, untouched, always clear at its depth, even when the surface is full of chaos. You can let the words fade now. Let the thoughts fade. Let the need to understand fade. There's nothing left to figure out, nothing left to grasp, nothing left to achieve. You've heard what you needed to hear, and even if you didn't, that's okay too. Because this isn't about accumulating more knowledge, getting more insights, understanding more concepts. It's about finally stopping, finally resting, finally letting go of the one who thinks they need to be in charge of everything. The darkness is here, and it's so gentle. The night is here, and it's not asking anything of you. You don't have to be anyone right now. You don't have to do anything right now. You don't have to fix yourself or improve yourself or make yourself into someone who finally has it all figured out. You can just be here, undefined, unknown, dissolving back into the silence that holds everything. Your breath is slowing. You might have noticed, or maybe you didn't. It doesn't matter. The body knows what to do. It's been doing it all along, and it will keep doing it whether you pay attention or not. You can trust it. You can trust the intelligence that beats your heart, that digests your food, that heals your wounds without asking your permission. You can trust the night to hold you, the darkness to be exactly what you need, the stillness to carry you into sleep when you finally stop trying to carry yourself there. There's nothing to hold on to anymore. No technique to remember. No state to maintain. No right way to do this. Just the simple permission to be here, exactly as you are, without improvement, without effort, without the constant exhausting work of being someone who needs to be in control. Sleep will come, or it won't. And either way, you're okay. You're not failing if you're still awake. You're not succeeding if you drift off. There's no performance here, no one watching, no one judging. Just you in the night and the quiet dissolution of all the boundaries you've been working so hard to maintain. You can feel it now, can't you? The way the edges are getting softer. The way the separation between you and everything else is becoming less defined. This is what sleep is: a temporary death of the ego, a letting go of identity, a return to the wholeness you never actually left. And it's completely safe. You've done it thousands of times. Your body knows the way. It's walked this path every single night of your life, and it will walk it again tonight, with or without your help. So let yourself be carried. Let the awareness that's been watching all of this simply rest in itself, not needing anything to be aware of, not needing to be aware of anything, just being what it's always been: open, clear, empty of content, yet full of presence. You are this awareness. You've always been this awareness. And the peace you've been searching for, trying to achieve, working so hard to create, it's not something you need to find. It's what you are when you stop searching. It's what's here when the doing ends. It's what remains when everything else falls away. And it's here now, holding you, surrounding you, being you. Closer than your breath, more intimate than your thoughts, more real than anything that's ever appeared within it. Rest now. Let go now. You don't need to try anymore. You don't need to understand anymore. You don't need to be awake anymore. The night is here, and it's asking nothing of you except that you stop fighting it. Let yourself dissolve into it, the way salt dissolves into water, the way a wave dissolves back into the ocean. There's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to become, no one you need to be. Just this quiet darkness, this gentle emptiness, this peace that asks nothing and gives everything. You're safe here. You've always been safe. And you can finally stop.